signing off. And sorry, David had to kind of skedaddle, and David also was with autism, so things get a little bit too much for him. He has had a lot to see today, so it was easier for him to kind of take a step out. So as you all know now, my name is Michelle Bessiere, and tomorrow I will be running 26.2 miles with most of you. I'd like to share a little bit of our story with you, and just to share kind of what our experience has been with the MDA so far, and also with Team Momentum. My family and I have been involved with the MDA for a little over 4 years now. My family consists of my husband Dave, my 5-year-old son David. We have 2 girls, Madison is 4, and Gabrielle is just 15 months now. Our son David was diagnosed with Duchenne in early 2011 when he was just 19 months old. We were living in Orlando at the time when we were referred to a neurologist because David hadn't met some of his milestones at his 18-month checkup. The doctors at the time were leaning towards the autism diagnosis due to his developmental delays. He didn't walk until he was 17 months old, and the only word he said at 18 months was "Dada," much to my amusement. However, after an exam and some routine blood work, the neurologist called us into his office to break the news that he thought that David had muscular dystrophy. We immediately had the blood work drawn for genetic testing, and as life and luck would have it, 2 days later, we moved to Texas. Our family was being corporately relocated through my husband's work and a little against our will. Our family plan was to move to Pennsylvania where my husband's family lives, but his company didn't seem to get that memo. In the midst of packing and selling our house in Florida and accepting the fact that we had to move somewhere we really didn't have to want to go, this bombshell was thrown into the mix. We had no friends and no family in Texas. And 7 days after arriving here, we got the news that David's genetic tests were positive for Duchenne. Devastated is an understatement when you get a diagnosis like this, especially in the midst of all the other turmoil. I felt completely alone in a place where I didn't know a soul. I didn't remember where the grocery store was. And Dave was working 60 plus hours a week at a brand new position at work. Even when we did see each other, we didn't know what to say to each other. Dave and I were grieving in different ways. He didn't want to talk about it, and I needed to. I needed answers. I needed some way to fight this intangible thing that was threatening to destroy my family and my son in ways that I had no control over. The neurologist told me that under no circumstances was I to go online and Google this disease. He told me the only website I was allowed to go to was the MDA website. That's exactly what I did. I looked up the information for the Fort Worth location, and the girls there have been trying to change the number at the office and change their email addresses ever since, because I won't leave them alone. At first, what I needed from the MDA was to know that I wasn't alone. That there were other people, other families out there, not only just living with this disease, but thriving as a family. Because at that moment in my life, I didn't know how to function as an individual in the midst of my grief, let alone try to thrive and function as a family. We signed up for parent resource groups and appearances at lockups. We did our first muscle walk. And with the few new friends I had made, we had a great experience, seeing that there were thousands of other people in the DFW area alone who were living a life very parallel to my own. They were living and thriving with the disease just like us. Over the past few years, I've had the amazing opportunity, because of the MDA, to speak on the show's strength on the starting line of the Muscle Walk. Dave and I have helped launch parent resource groups for families in the area. We've shared our story with firefighters across the Metroplex for local boot campaigns, and I've had the chance to sit on a council with local healthcare providers to ensure and increase the standard of care for those living with neuromuscular disease in our area. Without the MDA, I never would have had these opportunities to reach out to other families and offer not only my support, but the support of the MDA as well. This is where the speech gets hard. And then almost a year ago, I was introduced to Team Momentum. I can honestly say that I'm not the person I was 6 months ago. Before I started training, I couldn't run more than 30 seconds at a time, and that was agony. And now Dave laughs at me because I call 46 miles a short run. I've developed a love for running that I think will be lifelong, although we'll see how tomorrow goes. But now I have a very clear understanding of how my physical health directly impacts David. We recently were at a theme park, and David became too tired to walk. We had 3 tired kids and 2 sets of hands, so something had to give. Dave and I had to take turns carrying David, which is AKA 50 pounds of concrete. We had to carry him over half a mile to the car. I physically wouldn't have been able to do that 6 months ago. And I know that there will be many more opportunities where David's going to need my help. I need to be able to carry him in that moment when his legs just can't anymore. The physical benefits of training are obvious, but what I didn't realize is how much I needed this team. I didn't realize how much I had forgotten myself. See, I have this teeny tiny habit of expecting way too much for myself and not accepting 1 ounce of less than 100% Wonder Woman perfection. Ask Dave, I've got the cape, it's crazy. All I see is the failure. I don't see what I've accomplished in that. I only can see in every way that I failed. Sometimes it takes a village to make one person realize that what they do does matter. Even if it's just one small line, one on top of another and another, until the end result is one huge accomplishment. I want every member of my team to know that you have gotten me here. You have all taken turns running by my side, running much slower than you're used to. Running when you're sore and tired from other races, talking me through cramps and fatigue, just to get me through every hard mile. I thought to train for this marathon I was going to have to teach my body to endure the long miles. What I learned was that I needed a team to teach me how to forget my ego. Allow myself to go slow and make mistakes and celebrate small victories. See, all this time I thought I was learning how to run, and you guys were teaching me how to live. All of this was led by a coach who refused to leave me behind, who celebrated every victory, no matter how small it seemed, and taught me the value of that ritual. Thank you, all of you, for everything that you have done for me, for your sacrifices and for your kindness. I have no idea how seamlessly you would all transform from my teammates and becoming friends. In closing, I'll leave you with this. One of my idols is author and motivational speaker Nick Vujicic. He was born with no arms and no legs and speaks out again about hope and purpose. My favorite quote of his is pray for your miracle. But if you don't get your miracle, become one for someone else. I hope someday I can say I fulfilled those expectations. But I want those of you in this room to know that for my family and for myself, you already have. Through our struggle, we have been blessed beyond measure. And you are that miracle for us. For we've been given what I don't think we ever could have found on our own, and that's hope.